President Adesanya, our host, President Kofi, my leader, distinguished ministers, ladies and gentlemen and dear friends, good morning to all of you. And let me begin by saying that I'm delighted to see all of you here in support of greater leadership, partnership, and investment for nutrition security. This is an exciting time for nutrition. We have global consensus on what targets we need to reach, along with a roadmap for action. And as evidenced by your attendance here today, we also have increased momentum for leaders from across the board, from government, civil society, and the private sector. And yet, we continue to face the challenge of malnutrition across the continent. Africa's malnutrition is sadly on the rise. 58 million children under the age of 5 are too short for their age, and 14 million weigh too little for their height. And President Kofi and I are the same generation, and we've known each other for a long time. That's a problem he never had. These children are not growing healthily. Instead, their physical and mental growth is gravely at risk. Mothers, too, aren't eating properly and are seeing the health of their unborn babies permanently harmed. All this is to say that malnutrition remains a major barrier to development in many African nations, and I think the president of the African Development Bank made the case very, very clearly. Poor nutrition casts a long shadow over entire generations, denying children, communities, and nations from reaching their full potential. One of the most critical steps we can collectively take to achieving nutrition security is to transform the continent's agricultural sector. Africa is the only continent which fails to produce enough food to feed its own citizens. But it's not just about the amount of food we grow, it's also about the type of food that we eat. Thus, we need agriculture to be nutrition smart. To do that, we must work to create agriculture and food production systems that are diverse, efficient, and resilient in order to meet the nutritional needs of every community and every child in every nation. Furthermore, if African agriculture is to be truly transformed, investments must flow through the smallholder farmers, particularly women farmers and their families. Let's help them transform their subsistence farms into little businesses. And farmers are smart, they are clever. You show them the model and they will do it. With increased support across government, business, the African Development Bank and others, these smallholder farmers have the potential to transform their efforts into prospering businesses. But this is, of course, only a piece of the picture. We need governments to urgently adopt the right policies and mobilize resources to scale up nutrition. This is why today's meeting is so important. It is up to all of us to take action. We need to lead the charge to create the environment where nutrition is seen as both an input and an outcome of development. I'm looking forward to the opportunities for collaboration that the new Leaders for Nutrition Forum will offer. African leaders need to spark progress progress to establish the right policy frameworks and prioritize nutrition for every African. After all, it is only through better nutrition that we can ensure the well-being of our citizens. As you will hear from other panelists today, we know that, and we know what nutrition action we need to take, we need to prioritize to make the biggest impact, particularly in the lives of women and children. It will mean encouraging things like breastfeeding and food fortification while continuing to boost agriculture, as I mentioned, and also improve our work in women's empowerment, education, water, sanitation, and health. What we need now is to translate the momentum in this room into actionable support so that we may unlock the economic and human potential of every nation. It will require all of us to work together, building new partnerships, creating the right policy environment, and meeting the commitments we have already made, and such as the CADEP Malabo targets and the second Sustainable Development Goals, while continuing to look to the private sector to drive and sustain progress. The impact of the African Leaders for Nutrition Forum, along with everyone's support in this room, is one that will last for generations to come, or I should say should last for generations to come. Working together, I believe we can achieve a food and nutrition secure Africa. Thank you very much.